Nope, I'm not wearing it. I'm not. It's dead to me. I'm not wearing it. That's, you know what? You know what? You know what I think of this DLC and the fact that you've made me review it 3 times? That's what I think. Get out. So part 3 of the Assassin's Creed 3 DLC, the Tyranny of King Washington, is out. It's called The Redemption, and it is a doozy. Right off the bat, as far as the plot goes, you're still, of course, playing as Raton Cajetan, who is Connor Kenway and will be Connor Kenway for the rest of this review, because that is a lot to say, and I know some very great Native American people that will be offended by that if I pronounce it wrong. So, you start the game off, so yeah, no, let me cut that. So the game starts off right away with a naval battle, which is kind of, you know, it recalls the greatest things about Assassin's Creed 3, and then it also, of course, leads directly into Assassin's Creed 4, which, by the way, Ubisoft does not let you forget. Not more than about 15 minutes into the DLC, Connor ends up mentioning his grandfather, Edward Kenway, in casual conversation, as if he knew everything about him all of a sudden. So that's a thing. It was enough for me to put my controller down.
I cannot wait for Assassin's Creed 4. It's gonna be awesome.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Whaling.
I don't want anything to do with that madness. The DLC is the final battle between Connor and George Washington, and throughout the DLC you kind of gather new allies that I didn't really expect at first, so that's a perk. Otherwise, your special power is the Great Bear, which is, I think, honestly, probably the best part of the DLC was the Great Bear power. It did drain the crap out of your health, but you basically just slam your hands on the ground and all these people just start dying around you. And then a bear is like, rah, and you're like, what's up, bear? And then that's how the power goes. So it's pretty cool, but it does also turn Connor's eyes blue, which I never really understood, because why? Like, nobody in his family has blue eyes. At any rate, the DLC has happened, it is a thing, and there's really not much more to talk about as far as the gameplay goes. It's the same as ever. The plot really isn't that thick. You're in New York this time. Hooray, New York. And, no, don't get me wrong, I love New York City. I miss it. God, what is special about this DLC? Outside of that bear power, honestly, nothing. I was immediately put off by the blatant advertising of Assassin's Creed 4 by Assassin's Creed 3's hero. Like, seriously, can you not slam the door on Connor's dick as he leaves? Come on, guys. Come on. I know you don't like him. Give him some grace. There really isn't anything that has fantastically stood out to me outside of the action. Like, I've always loved the gameplay, and what's highlighted here is, like, you know, there are instances where you get attacked by a lot of dudes, but this particular game gives you versus, like, all-out warfare. So that's a perk of the gameplay. The special powers are always a perk of the gameplay, but as far as the plot goes, as far as the storyline goes, it's kind of all the same. So I don't really have much more to say about this. I honestly don't feel that this is much of a buy at all. Like, if you got the season pass, you really lucked out, because I cannot see myself paying like a full $30 for these 3 games. I mean, it's almost the same amount of hours of gameplay as you get in with Assassin's Creed 3, but overall, it's just kind of a big letdown, and that makes me really, really sad, because I was, of course, one of the big Connor fans. You know, I was really happy to see a character that didn't have to be exceptionally flamboyant to get across as like a deep human being. But a lot of the fan base didn't take very well to Connor, and he was treated by Ubisoft the way that fans talked about him. So I kind of feel like Ubisoft was putting these out as like pity games, but at the same time it's kind of like, well, if you expect me to play through Assassin's Creed 3 and all of the DLCs and expect Assassin's Creed 4 to be a good game, you've got another thing coming, because I have seen, I mean, the day that Assassin's Creed 3, the new DLC was released, it already had patches put onto it to start like making it a better game, or fixing all of the glitches that it came out with, like was released with. So I don't know, I'm not excited for Assassin's Creed 4 because of this series, and I don't expect it to be like exceptionally mind-blowing. But of course, with low expectations, come very, very good things if it actually turns out to be good. What could have been done to make Assassin's Creed 3 much more of a game, I would have released the game much later and taken a lot more time on it overall. Just like, there were so many little glitches and little bugs that just bothered the crap out of me. And you know, you expect glitches in games these days, but the amount of just lack of interest that seemed to go from the developers into this game really shined through, and I really wish that we had an Assassin's Creed that was paid more attention to. I wish we had a hero that was given more feeling as a character, or at least portrayed and written in a way that he could communicate with, you know, people. I don't want to say people who aren't as smart as me, but people who take character development a little less serious than me, people who need a character that just says, this is who I am in your face. I would probably change the people around him. The way he interacted with people was probably the most boring out of everything else, because you could see the way he felt in just like, even his expression, and that's what I loved about the game engine, is that like, even though Connor's voice was droll and like certain events around him weren't reacted to in a way that I would have definitely seen his character reacting to, what I love about Assassin's Creed 3 is that you can see Connor's emotions in his face, but we're so well taught to feel emotions through like voice and like action that you don't really pay too much attention to Connor. And that's, you know, I mean, I would never change that about his character. I just feel like the settings and the way he reacted to things were not becoming for the type of person he was, you know? Overall, I would honestly give it like a 5.5 out of 10. I mean, I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10, because it's really cool. Like, the concept behind the game is cool. It's great if you are a lady who loves fan service like I do, because you get to play as Connor like completely shirtless, and it's fantastic. But you know, on a more serious note, the game is very well. The idea is so good, but it was executed so badly. So it's a great concept to behold, but not necessarily something that is worth like an actual buy, I think. So for Pillow Talk, this is Katrina Dennis. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will be seeing you guys later on. See ya, bye. Your face would rather play as Edward Kenway, but you don't get any help with that, do you?
I'm trolling you.
I know. I'm sorry I called you ugly.